So if you've been following my channel for the last couple of years, then you know that I like to go on retro game hunts in the UK. But for this video, we've come to Paris. Now, there's a street in North Paris, I think it's called Boulevard Voltaire, and there's about 6, maybe more, retro game shops, and they're all within spitting distance of each other. So I'm going to go and check out 4, maybe 5 if I've got time. So let's go and see what they've got. So this is Boulevard Voltaire, and all the way down this road there are game shops and shops with like statues, figurines of Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, things like that. There's one there called All Geeks, and I think there's one across the road called Geek Store. And the first shop we're going to take a look at is Trader Games. Looks like that's where I need to be, upstairs. That's where the good stuff is. Bonjour. No, I had no idea they did a Roger Rabbit game on the Game Boy. Is that Game Boy? Is that Game Boy Color? I think it's Game Boy. Never seen that many boxed Game Boy games in one place before. And you've got the unboxed games down there. There's unboxed Game Boy Color. And more unboxed Game Boy. We've got Japanese Game Boy games in this cabinet. Game Boy Advance. Nice boxed Game Boy Color. Sorry about the noise, they're unpacking a delivery or something behind me.
Now, the Famicom Mini. Now, they were the Japanese version of the NES Classics, which got released on the Game Boy Advance, but they rebranded them as Famicom Mini. And we've got some WonderSwan games there. And a boxed Game Boy printer. Oh, sorry, camera. Printers at the back. Unbox Game Boy Advance. And some Master System games. So, is there anything I've not got? And it looks like there's quite a few in this cabinet that I've not got. We've got a Spy vs Spy card. €100. And it was one of the first Master System games I ever played back in the day. Which is Super Tennis. Oh, that's not bad, 35. Another game on the Sega card, S16 Fighter. Not a bad selection of Master System games. 100 for a boxed light phaser. And some Japanese Master System. Sega Mark III. So here we've got the Japanese Mega Drive games. And there is one I'm after. I would prefer it on the Genesis. But if they've got it on the Japanese Mega Drive, then I might get that, providing it's not too expensive, and that is Midnight Resistance. Because it never got a UK release, not a European release. But I'm not seeing it. I might have to ask if they do have it. We've got Game Gear games. That reminds me, I need to get my Game Gear fixed and recapped. Oh, what's that on? Oh, Game Gear. Wonder Boy, the Japanese version. So that's another game I want. Rambo 3. I prefer it on the European Mega Drive. Japanese Mega Drive Mini. I've never seen a Mega Drive box that small before. It's the Japanese Lemmings. A modern Genesis game there. Darius Extra version from Strictly Limited Games. And so we've got some US Genesis games. Soldice. The one I have is Solfice on the Mega CD. Not sure why they changed the name. Japanese Sonic and Knuckles. 32X Japanese Afterburner. One of these Mega CD. More Mega Drive Mini consoles. Blimey, they've shot up in price, €250. Looks like we've got the cassette soundtrack for Streets of Rage. Never seen that before. Never even heard of that. Treasureland Adventure. Never seen that before.
Nice.
It's 400 euros. So I won't be getting that. One thing I have noticed is they've got a heck of a lot of the Blue Spine Mega Drive games in this store. Now that's something I've been after for a while. That only got released in Japan. And it's one of the best Back to the Future games ever made. I have played it on emulation, but I've never played it on real hardware. Might have to think about that. Now I am thinking about getting a Super Famicom console. I do have an adapter, but some games aren't compatible with it. Plus, it'll be great to play all the Japanese exclusives.
Ja. Det gik jeg også ud fra.
Så vi kan spille det sammen?
Ja, selvfølgelig.
And in this cabinet, we've got a load of Neo Geo games. Never seen this many before. Now, you may have noticed the little stickers in the bottom corner of the box games. It's basically a rating system, so you can see the condition of the box, manual and game at a glance. It's a really good idea. I'm not sure why that Turtles game is 400 euros, or whether it's still sealed. Possibly. I don't think it's worth that much. Yeah, that Turtles game must have been sealed because the unboxed version's only 25. Yeah, so it's probably still sealed. Can't believe how many games there are, and this is just the first shop. Got all the plushes, Pokemon, Mario, whatever they are. I just think that's Splatoon. Possibly, I think that's Splatoon. Yeah. Strategy guides. And more box Neo Geo. Yeah, that's something I don't want to collect for. I'd have to remortgage the house if I collected Neo Geo. And here we have some t-shirts.
Le mug, il est à stock 0. Il est à stock 0.
Oops, sorry. PC Engine. These are bootleg PC Engine games. Yeah, these are all bootlegs. Neo Geo CD. And Neo Geo Colour Pocket.
Åh, titta den här.
Vad fett.
Precis köpt igen det. En sjukt lång tid.
PC Engine handheld there. That's $5.80.
Ja, precis. På den här gatan så kan jag slösa alla mer pengar jag har.
PC Engine Hue cards
Så sätter på kapitlet.
and the CD-ROM games for the PC Engine add-on.
Jag har själv tänkt att jag köper lite så med spel. Det ska vara något speciellt.
Here we've got Japanese Saturn games, which I can now play because I've got the Action Replay cartridge. But there is one in particular that I'm after, and it's the Salamander, or the Life Force Salamander Deluxe Pack.
I'm not sure if they've got it, I can't see it. It's got that classic artwork.
We've got some European Saturn games. We've got the French Die Hard trilogy.
And this is a console I've never gotten into, the Sega Dreamcast. I nearly got one back in 1999 but ended up getting a PC instead. Maybe one day.
Not many N64 games, which is weird. Quite a lot of unboxed N64, but not much in the way of box games. A few Atari. And lots of Evercade. And we've got Famicom.
It's a bit quieter down this end of the shop.
I've got original Xbox and 360 games there, PS3 and PS2, and there's the French version of Jaws, Les Dents de la Mer, which translates to the teeth of the sea. And I've just found Midnight Resistance. Yeah, don't want to be paying £200 for that, so I'll keep an eye out for the Genesis version.
So that was Trader Games, and we're just walking around the corner to a shop called Game Them All. So we're going to see what they've got. Some of the games in that last shop was a little bit expensive, but I have got my eye on that Back to the Future 2 for the Super Famicom, and hopefully my adapter will work. And it's just down this road, so the road we were on is just over there, and Game Them All is just across the road.
I think that's the kind of monitor we used to use at college for my media studies course. Very similar. We've got some consoles in here. Super Famicom and Famicom. Famicom top loader. NES. PC Engine. GameCube, N64, another Super Famicom. You got your Mega Drives, PS Vita, which I don't class as retro. Dreamcast, a nice, that's a Japanese Saturn, nice grey one. I'm not sure what that is. It says Victor on the controller, but it does look like a Saturn. Let me know in the comments what on earth that is. And we've got the handhelds: Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, PSP, Slimline PS2, Family Trainer, Neo Geo CD, Japanese N64, Japanese Game Boy Advance. Japanese Game Boy.
And Game Boy Color.
Famicom Mini. And some DS games and 3DS. Unboxed Game Boy. And Japanese GameCube. In the tiny boxes.
And here we have a load of Japanese N64s. And some Super Famicoms in varying conditions and prices. Well, this is jolly music. Mega Drives, Saturns, and Dreamcasts.
So here's the Japanese Super Famicom games. I wonder if they've got Back to the Future too. And if it's any cheaper than the last shop. That looks familiar. Is that the from the Raw Deal with Arnold Schwarzenegger movie poster? Yeah, Contra, I think. Maybe Contra 3 or Contra. Super Contra. I'm not seeing Back to the Future yet. Unboxed Turtles in Time, €60. We've got some European SNES games. No idea why Alien 3 is so expensive. In the last shop, I think it was about 160. I think I paid about 25, 30 for mine on eBay. But yeah, I didn't realise it was such a heavy hitter in Europe. We've got a few boxed NES games. And we've got Chippendale Rescue Rangers, which is funny because in France, Chippendale are known as Tic and Tac. Now, there's a salamander there, but that isn't the... no, that's not the Saturn version. We've got unboxed NES. And unboxed SNES and NTSC SNES. And N64. So in this one we've got the Mega Drive, the Japanese Mega Drive games. Sorry about the reflection. Thunder Force 3, that's one I've not got. €99. There's one there I've never heard of, and that is Super Airwolf. Interesting. So I'm not sure if that's like a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. Golden Axe 3. Oh, I like that the cover for Golden Axe. That's better than the one we got in the UK. And that is another Midnight Resistance. I think it's about €30 cheaper than the last shot. It is tempting, but like I said, I would prefer to get it on the Genesis. That way I don't have to mess around with adapters. Monster World games there. We've got another mass of boxed Neo Geo games. Like I said in the last shop, I don't think I've ever seen this many boxed Neo Geo games in one place. And I've been to a lot of video game markets over the years. But yeah, I'm so glad I don't collect Neo Geo. I mean, for a start, I don't have space for these games because each game's like a VHS cassette. More Japanese Saturn, and I've already checked and they don't have Salamander, and they didn't have Salamander in the last shop either, which is a shame because that's one of the games I'm after. I've got some Mega CD games there. And then we've got the Dreamcast cabinet with a mix of European and Japanese. And 2 Master System games. So I've never seen this before, but this is a good idea. So all the games that have no manuals, they just stick in this cabinet. So I'm assuming all the other games in the other cabinets are complete. So we're having a quick pit stop with an Orangina and a Croque Madame, which is the same as a Croque Monsieur, but it has an egg on it. So we've been fed and watered, and now we're on our way to the next shop. So that's it for this part of our retro game hunt in Paris. Now, I was planning on doing one long video, but instead decided to chop it up into a few manageable chunks. So join me next time where I check out more of the amazing retro game shops along Boulevard Voltaire.